Did Padme's corpse receive an autopsy? And I'm specifically referring to the Naboo doctors. Did the doctors on Naboo give Padme's corpse an autopsy? My guess is no. Padme probably did not receive an autopsy. And so, first of all, even if she had received an autopsy, I don't think that it would have revealed anything because she died of broken heart syndrome, effectively. She lost the will to live because she lost Anakin Skywalker. Anakin Skywalker turns to the dark side, turns to Darth Vader, turns so evil that he was no longer Anakin, and therefore Padme was so upset by it, and she died because Anakin was basically dead to her because he'd gone crazy, and so she died of a broken heart. So I'm not really sure if the science in Star Wars would have made it so that an autopsy would reveal her cause of death. But yes. Secondly, what happened to her body after she died? Meaning, what happened to her body in between Paulus Massa and the funeral in Naboo? And my guess is there were some explanations in legends and there were some in canon. But if we go by legends, we can assume that Bail Organa, Yoda, and Obi-Wan Kenobi used some scientific methods, and in Yoda and Obi-Wan's case, some Force methods, to make it so that Padme would look pregnant, would look as if she had not given birth. And then after that, they delivered her body to Naboo. And of course, in Legends, the story was that the Jedi revolted, and Padme Amidala was killed by the Jedi. And so that's the story. Now, I would assume that in canon, I'm not really sure what the explanation is in canon, to be exact. However, and I know I'm contradicting myself here because I said there were explanations in canon, and it turns out I don't know them, so yeah, I'm just contradictory here. But the point is, in canon, I would assume that Padme's pregnancy was not well known. Maybe some of the handmaidens knew it, but I doubt many others knew it. I don't think that she would have told her parents or her sister or the rest of her family either. So I don't think they knew Padme was pregnant at all, just to be on the safe side. And so they just got rid of the evidence that Padme had ever been pregnant. Maybe the doctors on Paulus Massa and Bail Organa and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda performed some surgery and made it so that Padme would look like she'd never been pregnant. And then they delivered Padme's body to Naboo. And I'm sure they had a very good explanation as to why and how Padme died. And I'm sure they did everything possible to avoid an autopsy. So Padme's body was just used for the funeral, and that was it, end of story. Now, here is the really difficult situation here. How much did Darth Sidious know? How much did Darth Sidious know about Padme's death? Did Darth Sidious, because if you really think about it, Darth Sidious sort of seemed to miss a lot of things, if you will, because Darth Vader is the only one who knew that he was meeting Padme Amidala on Mustafar, and of course, by extension, Obi-Wan Kenobi followed Padme to Mustafar and saw him there, and so Obi-Wan Kenobi knows that Padme and Anakin met on Mustafar. Yoda knows that Padme and Anakin met on Mustafar, and I'm sure Bail Organa knows it too. And C-3PO and R2-D2 know it as well, but of course C-3PO had his memory erased, so that takes care of that problem. Did Darth Sidious know that Padme Amidala had visited Mustafar? And the answer seems to be yes, because Darth Sidious says, because when Darth Vader wonders where is Padme, Darth Sidious says, it appears in your anger, you killed her. And of course Darth Vader is like, no, and then, yeah, but I think Darth Sidious doesn't exactly know what happened. So Darth Sidious knows that Darth Vader met Padme and got really angry at her, and then Darth Sidious also knows that Obi-Wan Kenobi fought Darth Vader. However, wouldn't Darth Sidious then believe that Obi-Wan Kenobi took Padme's body elsewhere? So wouldn't he track down Padme's body and try to find out where exactly Obi-Wan Kenobi went? Maybe Darth Sidious went to Naboo or sent someone to Naboo to figure out what happened, and then he realized Padme's body was delivered, but Obi-Wan Kenobi is just nowhere to be found. So he might get a little suspicious there, or Darth Sidious might have assumed that Anakin got angry at Padme and Padme died, and then Obi-Wan Kenobi showed up and started fighting Anakin, and that maybe Padme's servants or Padme's droids took Padme's body on board the ship and went to Naboo while Obi-Wan Kenobi fought and brutally injured Darth Vader. So that seems to be the case. I would assume that Darth Sidious doesn't really know all the details either, because otherwise he would have known about Luke and Leia and all that. And did Darth Sidious know that Padme was pregnant? I mean, possibly, probably. But then he would have been trying to find the children too, so it's really interesting to think about, because how much did Darth Sidious know about Padme Amidala's pregnancy, as well as her death, as well as the aftermath of her death? So there's a lot of mystery surrounding Padme Amidala's death. And frankly, if I had written Revenge of the Sith, I would have probably just had Padme cremated immediately and had her ashes delivered to Naboo, and had the ashes be at the funeral instead. I know that sounds rather drastic, but the point being that Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Bail Organa cover their tracks incredibly well and make sure to get rid of all the evidence, including Padme's body, which could have given any clue, because if someone were to dig up Padme and perform, I forget the procedure now, if they dissected Padme's body like a frog, they might find out that there were no children inside, or they might find out that she had been pregnant if they didn't already know, and they might find out that the kids were not accounted for. But of course, that sounds a little drastic, but they could have done that. So I find it hard to believe that Darth Sidious would not have dug up Padme Amidala's body and tried to search for some clues. But yes, that's what happens. So that's all there is to it. I assume there was no autopsy performed on Padme, and Darth Sidious didn't know the whole story.